Okay, so I'm sorry for the schedule. We did a little bit of mistake there, so my apologies. It's gonna happen again.
Don't worry about that, Ethan. Let's get started. That's not what the audience is interested in hearing.
Yes, perfect. So let's start things off. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, uh, about Presearch? What story behind it, and like what inspired you to create a decentralized, search engine? And did you get my question, Tim?
Sorry, you broke off after but let me just start so we don't waste people's time. Let me just start by explaining what Presearch is. I'll leave my background to the side. I've been in crypto for a long time. We can just leave it at that. The Presearch actually started, was a different company, in a Canadian company about almost 8 years ago. Did an ICO at raised some money, not a huge amount, I think $14 or $15 million. Used that money to try to develop, but it wasn't very well managed. And it did a fair amount of development. I like to say it crammed 2 years of development into 6 years. And then about a year and a half ago, management said, look, we know we can't do this. We just can't complete this. Would you take over? And after saying no a couple times, they finally persuaded me. So I did about 18 months ago. And we first had to go back and fix some of the historical issues. We did that. A VC fund invested in the company in November 13th of last year. By coincidence, we got all of the legacy infrastructure. And when my team took over the project, we created a new, fresh company about 18 months ago. And we kept the token. The token has always been a very, very important part of the ecosystem. But the token price just has been really, really poor because the project was doing so poorly. So now we've turned the project around. It's monetizing. We have our first full-time sales guy that starts starts next Tuesday for advertising. Although we're halfway roughly to our burn rate right now, and to covering our burn rate. And then as the company gets more profitable and does better, the search engine, the privacy-focused, decentralized search engine, we're going to start buying more and more of the token. On the search engine side, it's a fabulous product because you literally can't be profiled because we have a decentralized network of 40,000 nodes, and the node runners receive free tokens. And if you do a search, it may go through Germany. Your next search may go through Singapore. Your next search may go through New York. You can't be tracked. You can't be profiled, which actually makes search results much better because they're not spinning everything toward you. And the last thing about it is privacy. We don't collect any data. Most of our users we don't have an email address for them. So it's not like there's this great DuckDuckGo commercial that says, hey, we won't sell your data. And I thought to myself, yes, but if any court, any government regulator asks for data, you have to cough up what you have. And so there's privacy, but it has severe limitations. In our case, we don't have your data. We don't have anything. So we'll comply with the law, but we have nothing to give. So it takes privacy to entirely different level. And then we have 130 search engines, or really a meta search engine. We have 130 search engines you can access through Presearch, and you access all of them through this node network. So same thing, no profiling, maximum privacy, and virtually no data collection. So it's a really different approach to search.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. So, you know, what's really cool about Presearch is that it's powered by a community instead of like a big corporation. So can you explain how users can get involved, whether it's like running nodes, improving searches, or just spreading the word? Also, how does decentralization actually make a difference in search results?
Well, the last question I already answered. You're breaking up a bit, but the last question I already answered, and that is every search goes through a different node, so you can't be profiled. They might try to profile that node, but there's already there'll be hundreds of different searches coming through it. But the first part of the question is much more important. How can you, the audience, use Presearch, take advantage of Presearch, and contribute to Presearch? The first is just go to Presearch.com. There's an extension that we have that works with any browser. You can just use it at Presearch.com. You can load the extension. So it's up to you. Loading the extension is obviously easier. And you can search, and you'll see the results of see the difference. You can actually, for certain searches, you can do side by side. You can do Google here, you can do Presearch here. And if you use Google, say that's your main one, your search results, especially if you do something that's related to the individual, your search results will be tailored to you. It'll be what Google thinks you want to see. Whereas the search results in Presearch will be as neutral as you can make it because there is no profiling there. And that's true of every search engine. I don't mean to just pick on one of them. So you can use that. You actually, if you pick up some Presearch and stake Presearch, you can actually earn Presearch by searching. And that's something that a lot of people do. We had a lot of fraud with that for a while. So we introduced a staking concept. So you have to stake first, and then it works well. Node runners, you can run a node. There are instructions all over the place. I've got an acquaintance rapidly becoming a friend in Egypt who loves Presearch. He's talking to all of his friends about using Presearch. And so he has almost 100 people running nodes, and he's got almost 1,000 people that picked up and start using Presearch. And you get referral rewards too if you want to do that. So it was a nice thing. But he's doing it just because he likes the search engine, likes the experience, and really likes the lack of profiling, the lack of being followed. He has specific concerns in Egypt, which not everybody has, but other people do as well. You can also word of mouth, as you said, very, very important to all of us. And in all of those different ways, you can buy keywords. You actually don't buy them straight up. You just stake Presearch tokens, pre-tokens, and you can direct traffic that's looking for whatever it is you're selling. If their search matches your keyword, your reference will come up in the search results. And so we have bidding for keywords in pre-tokens. If you want that result to move up, you pay 1% of your bid, your stake a month, and we have a lot of people. Doing that. So there's a lot of utility in the token because since the team took over and, like I said, solved some of the historical issues, we've introduced pre-GPT, which is GPT with really low guardrails. Again, our focuses are freedom and privacy. Privacy we've talked about a lot, but also from a freedom aspect, they have as few controls as you possibly can on what you're searching for. So pre-GPT is very low guardrails. Advertisers don't like what we're doing because we provide no data, no cookies, no pixels. We don't track anything, nothing, zero. So we invented our own kind of what they call ad unit, our own type of advertising. It's just a background behind everything. It's like wallpaper. And that's all it is. We tried other forms of advertising where people would give us their ads or give us links to ads, and it just blew up privacy. It was awful. So now we control all of that. We have the creative or the picture. We try to put really nice ones up. We call it ads as art. And that's just the background of what you have. And so in that way, we have to monetize some way, right? Everyone does. But in that way, it's the least intrusive, most privacy-focused kind of advertising you want. But if you don't like it for a couple dollars a month, I think it is, you can get ad-free search and you'll have nothing, just basic, just what you are searching for. You can also do other things on a paid basis, all very, very, very inexpensive. Pre-GPT is $249 a month if you sign up for 1 year. So it's all very consistent ethos, privacy, freedom, and not intrusive at all.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. So Tim, can you walk us through, both the users and advertisers benefit from the token? So how does it, enhance the overall experience for the community? And looking ahead, so what's like the long-term vision for pre-token, and how do you like evolve and contribute to the growth of Presearch over time?
Well, the token is critical. First of all, node runners receive the token. The search stakers receive the token. Keyword stakers, to the extent anything happens, they pay a little bit in the token. When I talked about pre-GPT and ad-free search, I mentioned US dollar prices, but most people pay in pre-tokens. So there's a give and take. There's a flow both ways. The other thing I referred to, I'll go more detail now in response to your question, is that right now 5% of all revenue is used to buy pre-tokens. Revenue is increasing significantly. We've never been in a position to hire a full-time sales staff. That starts next week, and we expect sales to increase significantly, which means pre-token buybacks will increase significantly. And our goal is, by the end of the year, to turn the tokenomics of the token from slightly inflationary. It was much more inflationary when the team and I took over a year and a half ago. It is still slightly inflationary, but we want to make it slightly deflationary by the end of this year. And, so we've got people buying tokens to stake. We've got people buying tokens to pay for ad-free search, to pay for pre-GPT. We'll introduce other innovations. Some will be just functionality. Some will be paid services. They will also be in pre. So it's already an ecosystem with the more utility than any other token I know, because there are so many things you can do with a pre-token. And we really want to significantly further increase that utility and make the token deflationary, which would be huge. We don't want to pump and dump the token, by no means. We want to change the tokenomics so it just marches forward and marches up. And the team is really, really excited about that potential.
That's amazing. So, these days, a lot of people are really concerned about their online privacy. So, especially when it comes to search engine tracking their data and personal information, with big tech companies collecting so much user data, many are looking for alternative search engine that respect their privacy and all that. So how does Presearch handle this issue? What measures do you have in place to make sure users can search the web without worrying about their data being tracked or stored? And how do you guys balance that, still discovering accurate and relevant search results?
There's an interesting tension between gathering information on someone and giving them search results. You use two adjectives that are interesting. You said accurate and tailored, right? We give you accurate search results. We do not give you tailored search results. We don't want to alter the search results because you're a woman who's 25 living in Morocco or something, or because you're a male who's 32 living in Toronto. The idea is not to pitch things to you because we think that's what's going to make you happy. There's too much of an echo chamber in the world as it is. We give you accurate results. And because we don't collect data on you at all, in fact, about half of people who use Presearch they don't even register for it. We have zero data on them. I'll give you a really good example. Under the European privacy law, we've had two different people who have said, look, please send me all the information you have on me. And our response was, well, it's interesting. We had no information on you until you asked this question. And when they asked the question, they sent us an email. They gave us their name. They said they were in a specific country in the EU. They gave us all this information so we could send them what information we had on them. And the answer was, sorry, until you asked us, we had nothing. And for many companies, it's very expensive and difficult. They have to chase all the information they have on someone. We generally have nothing. And when we have information, it will be an email address. Maybe they'll have given us the name. If they haven't given us the name, we don't even have that. If they've registered for a pre-wallet, then we have a centralized wallet. We have a bit of information for them. But next week, we're starting beta testing of our Web3 wallet. Even that will go away. The token is now an ERC20 token. It's already listed on Base. It's been on Base for 6 months. We're one of the few projects that's going completely Web 2 to Web 3. And that will, in custodial staking for all the things I mentioned, that will further drop the information that we have on people. We just have very little. That's not what motivates the company. We don't need it. We don't want it. And we're all quite happy that way.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. So, how do you guys ensure that the platform continues to grow and attract more users while maintaining financial stability? So, what strategies are in place to drive adoption, incentivize both users and node operators, and create lasting value for pre-token holders? And what are like the biggest challenges you guys have seen in scaling platform, especially in competitive space dominated by tech giants?
I describe Presearch for purposes of questions like this as a three-legged stool. We have tokenomics, economics, and number of searches. Those are the three legs. And the stool, the seat that holds it all together, is search quality. We have really, since the team took over, we have really focused on search quality and a lot of metrics of that search quality. On the tokenomics, the payout rate was like 20 million tokens a month when we took over. It's now down to 3 and may go below that. And that's fabulous for the token because it means there are far fewer tokens hitting the marketplace and being sold. Your question focuses really on the other two legs, the economics, so advertisers, and number of searches. And until now, the project had never focused on marketing itself or selling itself or really affirmatively acquiring new searches, new users, new pre-searchers, or new impressions, as advertisers say. Well, we're doing a WeFunder campaign, should start maybe even tomorrow. And the use of proceeds for that campaign is just expansion. We're in a unique position because we have everything we want from a technical standpoint. Want to improve it all. That process is never over, but all the basics are there. For instance, we didn't have maps until about a month ago, and it turns out it's very difficult to add maps, but we have that now. That was the last element. So now we're really going to start marketing and advertising the search engine. And we are, like I said, we have a full-time sales staff starting shortly. That will allow us to monetize. And once you get that flywheel going, more monetization means buying more tokens, which means drives more interest on the token side, more advertising of the search engine itself. I'm not talking about ads on the search engine. That's very limited. We need to more exposure to the community, explain to more people about that Presearch exists. Many people don't know it because prior management really didn't push any of this. They didn't have enough money to do it. And so as we make more money, we can attract more searchers. That will allow us to monetize better, which means we buy more tokens and we can also afford to do more advertising, and you get the picture, right? And so the flywheel has really just started. We did a whole bunch of experiments last year, broke even a couple of months, but now we are doing it on a sustained basis because we fixed all of these various problems that I alluded to. And right now it looks like our monetization for February will be about 4x what our monetization for January was. If we double it one more time, we'll be basically at break even. And after that, we start being profitable. And then even more, the flywheel starts moving even more quickly.
Okay, so Tim, what are like some of the key features that make Presearch unique, and why are users considered making the switch? Like, why should users consider making the switch? Like,
Well, it's all the things I just talked about, right? It's everything I just spoke about. Privacy, freedom, a meta search engine, pre-GPT. We also introduced something called NSFW, not safe for work, which it's the same search engine, but has what we call spicy ads, more adult-focused ads, nothing graphic, but just spicy, I think is a good way of putting it. And ad-free search, all kinds of different possibilities, in addition to the fundamental search results being very accurate, very quick, and not being tailored. For instance, in pre-GPT, if you use somebody else's generative AI, you do a search, that search goes into the LLM for that AI by default. You usually can't turn it off. With our AI, by default, your search is not feeding the LLM. Again, so that means the results will be as objective as possible and not spun to try to attract your attention or sell you something.
That's amazing. I really like the fact that you're really transparent in answering the questions. So honestly, a lot of people. That's okay. Let me tell you something that I don't usually say on the AMA. So a lot of project, because early last year, we were hosting for meme coins. So a lot of these project owners, when hosting them, they don't like showing their faces. Even when I set the banner, they don't want me to put their face on the banner because they just want to stay, anonymous. So even on the live stream, they don't show their faces, and it's quite disturbing. So in 2-3 months later, after the session, they rock the project. I don't know who rocks it. Probably them or the team working with them. So it's kind of concerning because I really like transparency. I hate people, they're not straightforward people. That's why I stopped posting for meme coins and started with Web3 and all of this stuff. So regarding that, so that's I just wanted to clear that part because it's really an important part, showing yourself on live stream, and a lot of people can see that these people are actually genuine and they're real people. So It's really
Let me jump in. Let me jump in with that, Ethan, because I'll say two things. First, if you look at the Presearch.com, the Presearch site, you will see the entire. Yeah, we've got 20 odd people there. If you look at the WeFunder site for people who want to own part of Presearch, right? And I should say, when we took over the project, it was owned. The Canadian company was owned 100% by this Canadian guy, and who said, "Hey, I can't manage it anymore." Now it is a Delaware C corporation. Doesn't really matter. It's a U.S. company. It's fresh, new, no hidden liabilities or anything like that. And half of it is owned by a VC fund that I'm affiliated with. Most importantly, though, 20% is owned by the team members, and they have options to buy even more. And it was amazing. Told everybody, we're going to give you options. And I gave them options, and some of them had already vested. People exercised the options. And what that means is they took money, team members took money out of their own pocket, paid the company to buy shares, so they're on the cap table. They're on the shareholders list. That is really, really unusual, but the team believes in the project so much. There's up to right now 30%, it may be more, of the company that they own. They believe in it, and they all own tokens. Many of them are paid only in tokens. Some of them are paid in mix, and one or two are paid in fiat. So to me, not only is the team public and available, and Presearch is on our LinkedIn profiles and absolutely everything, but they're also personally invested, literally invested in the project, and that's what you want. You don't want anonymity. You don't want guys that are, that are trying to hide, because they're going to rip you off. I mean, it's just inevitable.
That's the point. It's really
so anyway, we're the opposite. We're the exact opposite.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. Transparency is key. It plays an important role to a genuine project. Probably your intention for taking the project forward in the crypto industry is probably straightforward and transparent, genuine. So it's really important. So I'm just gonna ask my last question before we head on to the community question. So Tim, looking ahead in 2025, 2026 and beyond, so what's next for Presearch? Are there any major updates, new features or exciting partnerships in its work that the community should look forward to?
Absolutely. First of all, we're already a partner of NVIDIA. We're in the NVIDIA development program. And the third use of proceeds, one is sales, second is marketing, but the sales issue is almost already addressed. Marketing is something that's ongoing. The third use of proceeds in the WeFunder campaign is super exciting, and it answers your question, and that is develop our own AI-centric, decentralized search engine. Because right now everything's decentralized, but like I said, it's a meta search engine. What we want to do is, what we are doing actually, we're not building a search engine where you have the search engine and you're bolting AI on top of it. We're designing it with AI at the core and designing it to be centralized. So we'll have specialized nodes that crawl the web, specialized nodes that index the web, over and above the search nodes that we have 40,000 of right now. The biggest use of funding from WeFunder proceeds will be to further the develop of that proprietary search engine. We've done design work so far. We need to complete the design work and then start implementing it. And the nice thing there is it's not binary, right? It's either you have a search engine or you don't. We can peel off certain searches and peel off certain other aspects of running a search engine and slowly, stage by stage, phase by phase, build the search engine. And people will still be able to pick the other 130 search engines, but the default will be the Presearch proprietary search engine, which will give even better results, even more private results, even less, tracked results than now. So that is the really big excitement, really exciting news for us, exciting project. Probably take a year or two to do that, but it will be a search engine with so many firsts. It's almost hard to list them all.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, I know I said I was going to give the community a chance to ask the question. I just wanted to clarify on one more question. I have a lot of questions, but we have limited time, so I'm just gonna short it down. So, have you guys thought of I don't know if you guys have done it, but I just wanted to check if you guys have done like a merchandise for research.
We have some merch. We have some merch. It hasn't been a big focus because we've been focusing on building the company first. But now that we're going more into marketing and advertising and trying to attract more searchers and people to move away from big tech search engines, we will be doing more of that. We have some now, not a lot, but it's something we're working on literally right now. So it's coming.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, I just wanted to clarify on that. So, hey guys, it's time for the community question. So, I'm just going to don't forget to follow the socials and also grab a bag as well. So, along the line. So, I see Victoria. Oh, she left. Okay, I see Victoria. Victoria, your mic is unmuted. You can go ahead and speak now. Hi, Victoria. Are you there?
Hi guys, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. How does Presearch ensure your privacy and data security?
Well, I think I described that pretty thoroughly. The first way is we don't collect any data, and you can hardly have more security than that. The data we do collect, or actually we don't collect any. Some users of Presearch voluntarily give us very, very limited data. It's generally just their email address, sometimes their name. For these various payment portals and things, we don't collect any of that data. So the main defense, if you will, and it's very important to us because even if law enforcement were to come to us, we don't have the data. We don't collect data on anyone. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the response. Can I would like to ask another question, which is how will Presearch balance user-generated content with maintaining high-quality search results?
Well, for the moment, we don't have user-generated content unless a user has a website, the website been crawled, and then it will go into the search results just as any other website or any other basic information. The one thing that we are going to be doing that I'm really excited about is crowd ranking. We're going to encourage people to rank the results, the quality of a search, and if there are search results that say superficially look like they meet what you're looking for, but in reality don't, then that result, that website will be downranked, and then the community will be able to influence the quality of the search, presumably for the better. But the focus is not on community building content. The focus is on the community being able to find content. Does that make sense?
Yes, thanks for the clarification.
Sure.
Okay. Hope that clarifies your question, Victoria. So, I see Sophia. Sophia, your mic is unmuted. You can ask your question away.
Hi, team.
Hello.
So, my question is, how does Presearch AI-powered search differ from centralized AI-driven search engines like Google's?
Well, I think that's what the entire AMA has been about. I've described a lot of differences. I don't want to repeat all of that. So is there something more specific you're interested in? Sophie?
Sophia,
Hello,
are you there?
can you hear me? So I don't know if I could add something related to other things. Like, I know that running a decentralized network can be energy intensive. So how does Presearch address environmental concerns related to energy consumption?
That's a good question. The answer, I haven't really thought about this very much, but the answer is just very, very clear. If you're a centralized search engine, you've got to use, major iron, as they call it, major computer systems. You're going to be warehoused, right? You're going to be in a server farm. That's all going to be centralized. It's going to suck in massive amounts of electricity to the point where companies like Microsoft are restarting nuclear plants to generate all that electricity. What does Presearch have? We have none of that, right? We don't have server farms. What we have are 40,000 different nodes spread out across the world. Some people go through VPSs, virtual private servers. So there will be little pockets that are slightly larger, but most people just have their own computer. It's running Presearch in the background, doesn't strain the system at all in terms of resources. So rather than have a mammoth centralized suck of energy, the energy for Presearch is spread all over, much easier for the world to support, much more environmentally friendly, and not nearly as concentrated and potentially destructive as a centralized system.
Hey, thank you so much. I get the answer. Thank you for the vivid explanation. Thank you.
Good question, Sophia. Thank you. I hadn't thought about that, but I think we'll probably introduce that into our materials. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Sophia, for the question. So, moving ahead to the next, I see Ramsey, your mic is unmuted. You can ask away. Ramsey, are you there? Okay, I'll just move on to the next person.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, hey, Ramsey.
Sorry about that. Okay, my question is, how does Presearch ensure continued growth, adoption, and revenue generation while studying? Oh God, sorry. Like, how does Presearch ensure continued growth, adoption, and revenue generation while staying true to its decentralization?
While true to decentralization is easy because there's really no contradiction between monetization and decentralization. But let me adjust your question a little bit and make it really relevant, because as I said earlier, advertisers don't like the lack of personal data we have. They really, really don't. Some just refuse to work with us. So the tension that we run into is monetizing while keeping privacy. And so far, we haven't had insurmountable difficulties with that. It hasn't been easy, but as I say, in February, we should be halfway to monetization. I think we'll get further than that going forward with the sales staff coming on. And that task, that monetization task, gets easier as we expand the number of searches. Right now, we're running about 13 million searches a month. That is our inventory, if you will, to sell to advertisers the way we sell it. So no pixels, no cookies, no nothing, just the background ad. If we double that, triple that, or I should say when we double, triple that, we will have that much more inventory to sell. And then the group, our demographic, our users who are generally computer savvy, they're intelligent, they have disposable income. It's a real wonderful demographic for a lot of advertisers. The more of those people we have, the more attractive we will be, and the more the advertisers will have to say, okay, we accept. You don't give us any personal data. We still want to advertise with you. So the more popular we are, the more leverage we have with advertisers to not collect data or to accept the fact that we don't collect data because we don't compromise, and to come to us. Again, it's the flywheel effect, right? And so it not only affects direct monetization or economics, but also tokenomics, because the more the company makes, the more tokens it buys. Does that make sense?
I think she's lagging a bit. So I'll just move on to the next question. I hope that clarifies your question. So I see Kevin. Kevin, your mic is unmuted. You can ask away.
Hello, team. How you doing?
Hi, doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I love the presentation so far. I love the effort you guys are putting into this project. And so,
Thank you.
just to jump off with my question. My question is about the community. I just wanted to know how the Presearch team ensure that communities are actually involved in decision making while still maintaining that unified global strategy.
That's a really good question. There's a real tension on the governance side. I'm not talking about the infrastructure design side. There's a real, tension on the governance side, and that is centralized structures are generally more quick and efficient in terms of getting things done, and decentralized structures are not. Since the team took over, because there were so many difficulties, we've run a very centralized governance structure, just getting things done. Once you have survival of the company taken care of, then you can take the time and effort to go out to the community. And we've gone out to the community with a number of questions over the past year, probably, one or two a month to get the opinions of people. But honestly, we have not done it a lot. But now that we're, that we've got, we put our head above the parapet, as the phrase goes, we have a bit more time and there are fewer existential questions. We're doing more of it. And I'm trying to think, we had an all hands meeting yesterday and we were talking about a specific issue. And we decided that the best thing to do was to go to the community and ask the community what they thought would work best. And I'm sorry, I can't remember right off the top of my head what the question was, but we're going to be doing more and more of that. It's never going to be completely decentralized, because if you have technical issues and other issues, they can only be resolved at the centralized level or with a centralized structure. But we will be using the community more and more over time There are times we've used it a lot. There are times we've not used it much. But the general trend will definitely be, and it probably has already started, it's safe to say, to rely on the community more and more.
Yes, that's awesome. That's amazing. So yeah, that's all from me. That shows that you guys are really transparent in everything you do. You guys care about the community so much. I love that, and this shows that the community is really active, stuff like that. And so yeah,
Well, the community, we're totally dependent on the community, Kelvin. The community runs nodes. Without that, the project is dead. The community is the one that does the searches. Without them, the project is dead. We are completely dependent on the community, and the community is by far the most important resource or asset, whatever you want to say, that the project has.
Okay, hope that clarifies your question. So I see Michael. I unmuted Michael, so Michael, you can act away.
I hope you guys. I hope I'm audible.
Perfectly clear, bro.
All right. So my question is, what mechanisms ensure user searches remain private? Hope you got me.
Yes, it's funny. The question you ask comes from a place where Presearch is not, and it's what mechanisms exist so that the information remains private. You should ask the question the other way around, because we don't have any mechanisms that attack privacy or jeopardize privacy. We have no information on most users, a little bit of information that they give us. We don't collect it. A little bit of information that some users have given us if they've registered on the site or if they're search staking or running a node. We have a little bit of information on them, but we don't, in most cases, we couldn't even identify them by name. We just have we have zero data on most users and almost no data on other users. So it's not so much a mechanism that we don't collect the data. We don't have the data. We don't have the data, right? It's the question's coming from a point of view that doesn't apply to Presearch, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Okay, please, can I go to another question? All right, so I'll be going.
Okay, so what strategy do you have in place to get more eyes on research since they are bigger platform like Google?
I hope you guys got my question.
No, I didn't get that question. Did you hear it, Ethan?
Can you move your mic closer to your face a little bit?
Okay, all right, sorry. My question was, what strategies do you have in place to get more eyes, that is more engagement on Presearch since they are biggest platform like Google?
Great question. And the answer is we've already started a marketing effort. So a lot of articles I'm quoted or they're about Presearch or whatever. But more importantly, we're actually going to start doing direct advertising, banner ads, stuff that we don't do, strangely enough, banner ads on other sites that inform people about Presearch, its advantages, et cetera, et cetera. And the other way is forums like this. You guys have all heard, you've all learned about Presearch. Hopefully some of you will try it, and hopefully some of you will continue to use it. We've got right now 98 participants, let's call it 100 participants on this. If each of you were to tell 10 people, right, we've already got, counting you, 1,100 potential new users. So these sort of things and other more direct media, that is our approach at the moment.
All right, thank you so much for your answer.
Sure. Thanks for the question.
Okay, so I see Jeremiah. I muted Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you can go ahead and speak now.
Thanks for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you
Am I
can
audible?
speak now. Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
could you
I'll
speak a
go
little
ahead.
closer to the mic, though, please?
Am I audible now?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I'll go ahead with my question. Um, my question is it's more on decentralization. Presearch relies on node operators for decentralization. I just want to know if there is a means which prevents a scenario where a few large stakeholders dominate the network, similar to what Bitcoin mining become centralized over the time.
Are you talking about the 51% problem in Bitcoin mining?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't apply here for two reasons. First of all, it's very, very, very spread out, right? The largest node runner probably has 2%, maybe 3% of the network, right? First. Secondly, even if a single node runner hit 51%, it's not like Bitcoin mining where you can vote to do a fork and change things, right? The node runners run nodes. Theoretically, one node runner could have 100% of the nodes. Kind of stupid, but theoretically, and they still couldn't change anything, right? So there is no analogy between the 51% problem in Bitcoin mining and our node network, because the node network doesn't reach any decisions. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thanks for clarifying that. Can I go ahead with another question if it's possible?
Yeah, sure.
Outstanding. Good question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating it. For my other question, I just want to know more about decentralized projects. And my question goes like this: many decentralized projects struggled with user adoption due to usability issues. I just want to know if how does Presearch balance decentralization with a smooth user experience?
Again, it's could you turn your mic off, please, or maybe you can mute him, Ethan? Thank you. Again, the problem doesn't really arise because the experience from the person doing the searching, you type in your search, you get your results. The network now of 40,000 is so robust, we could probably increase the number of searches certainly by 1 order of magnitude and probably by 2, and still not have a latency issue, still not have a resource issue with the nodes. Theoretically, at some point in time, let's say the number of searches skyrockets and for some strange reason we have fewer node runners, we could run into the problem that you're describing where the project would be a victim of its own growth, if you will. That's as a theoretical matter. As a practical matter, I don't see it happening because as the project grows and becomes more attractive and gets more users, it's also going to be more attractive to the node runners because they'll make more money running a node. So there's a theoretical possibility of what you're describing. As a practical matter, however, I just don't see it happening. Does that make sense?
It does. It actually does. Thanks for clarifying that again. I appreciate it. I have no more questions. If I have any other question, I will send you DM. But you answered my question, and I appreciate it. Really, really nice.
Very good, Jeremiah. Thanks for the question.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you, Jeremiah, for your question. So I believe that's all for now. So, Tim, before we round up the session, is there like anything that we've not covered that you wanted to like cover before we end up the session?
there's something I want to repeat, and that is please give Presearch a try. Go to presearch.com and check it out. If you like it, please start using it. If you don't like it, please let us know why. We constantly try to improve constantly do improve the search engine, but really give Presearch a try. You owe it to yourself, your privacy, and your choices to be able to use something like that.
That's amazing. So this will be the end of the session, guys. So don't forget to follow them on their socials, all of the socials. It's important to get new updates. It's important to know their journey because it's really important to follow the social. Follow them on X, follow them on Telegram, follow them on to catch new long news in the future to stay ahead and follow them in this exciting journey, which is really important. So thanks, team, for your time. I was hoping to see Brandon. I didn't see Brandon here.
No, it's just me. Brendan is critical to the organization and stuff, but he prefers to work behind the scenes. So sorry, you've only got me.
All good, all good. So this will be the end of the session, and stay focused, guys. And this project is really amazing, a lot of potential, and they're really transparent, which I've said before. A lot of people don't like to show their face on VC. They like staying anonymous. So we have projects like this. They try to make sure to let a lot of people know that they're really real people, and they try to be transparent and be really authentic. So it's really amazing. So stay tuned, guys, because we're going to be hosting a lot of these projects and people who actually show their faces on VC and not try to hide, because I don't like that. To be honest, I don't like that, and I feel it's kind of creepy when people don't like showing their faces, because what's that? What's really the big deal? If you want to be transparent, you show your face. So this will be the end of the session, guys. Stay clear and stay safe, guys. A lot of bad stuff that are happening in the crypto industry and in real life. So stay tuned, guys, for the next announcement around this week. So team, thank you very much. This has been really insightful for our community and investors. So guys, don't forget to grab a bag as well while you go ahead. So thank you, Tim.
Take care.
Guys.
You all have a good day. Bye-bye.